coming from a different environment this time.
Yeah.
I think in the past several live streams we've been in Ecuador, we've been in Portugal, we've been in Tenerife,
Yeah.
you know, living the community lifestyle in the nature. But this time we are in the city, believe it or not.
Yeah, we are in Sweden right now, and we have been in many different places. Like we've been in Finland, we visited Mia's family, and we've been in Berlin visiting old friends, and we organized the Sacred Circle retreat. And now we are visiting my brothers in Sweden. And yeah, it's been a big journey for us.
Mm-hmm. And in this live stream, we want to talk about, you know, what we felt coming to the city and the huge difference that it is to be in the nature, living in a community lifestyle versus being in a city, in a flat.
Yeah.
You know, how it has been.
Yeah, and we will also share how is like the restriction affecting people, comparing to what we faced in Ecuador and what we're seeing here in Europe. It's like has a really huge impact on the mood and the energy and everything. So we're gonna share about this as well. And if you can hear us, let us know. We're trying a new mic, so let us know if the sound quality.
Hi Mario.
Hey Mario.
Yes.
Hey. Yeah.
So the very first thing, you know, when we arrived in Berlin, already at the airport, I got triggered.
Oh God.
And it was like we had been in such a peaceful mood in Finland. It's a bit of a different environment where we were in, also quite natural. But arriving in Berlin, I just couldn't help but feel the contrast of my heart being very open, my own softness, versus the harshness and density of the city. And it was very challenging actually to maintain that openness and to keep my heart open in every moment, facing such a wall.
Yeah, Berlin was quite a challenge for us. We felt like the energy was like constantly stressed and like very much contracted, and like for me, there was the first time in my life where I felt like, usually when I go to street, I intentionally set intention to be in a love vibration, to channel this love to everybody and every situation I face. And at that time in Germany, I felt like my heart is so close up. I felt so much anger, so much frustration, and like even at some moment I felt hate. And then I catch myself like, what? Like, why I'm feeling this way? And then I was like, okay, breathing and like relaxing into my body and feeling myself and feeling like the emotion coming up and all this stress vibrations. So I was like allowing myself to okay, it's coming from the outside, relax, and then I could kind of like shift it. But it was so difficult comparing to Ecuador, for example, or even Finland. So
yeah, and I was just crying the first, like the bus ride from the airport to our place. Like I couldn't even understand exactly why I was feeling that way, but I was crying. And then I realized, you know, that it's that all the suppressed human emotion, the heaviness, meeting my open heart. And then I was crying also because I felt the desire to close my heart, you know, to be like, okay, then I'm gonna protect myself too. Because this is what people are doing in the city. You can feel their protective shells. People are protecting themselves from each other, especially now more than ever. And I had to make the decision, you know, like, you know what? I'm not going to protect my heart. Because if I do that, I'm just gonna be just like everyone else. I'm just gonna contribute to the same. So I insisted the whole time that I've been in the city to keep my heart open, even in situations where I feel the density, I feel the, you know, separation. It hurts.
If you're like a loving being like me, it would be really challenging. Hey Ravel, welcome to the live stream.
Yeah, so I would say that like that's the biggest shock really for me coming to the city environment is the closedness. How people are they show one thing, but you can feel that their hearts are closed and they are actually protecting themselves. No one feels safe. This is what I'm like. You can be surrounded by people and no one feels safe.
Yeah. And this is, I think, the ultimate way, like the ultimate feeling of loneliness, that it's like you're around people but you can't really go deep or connect or like see who this person is. Like you face the protectors or this person and that kind of like alienate people. It's very different comparing to what we had like in Ecuador, where people like very open, and it feels like they are more like welcoming you with the heart energy. And like here in Berlin it was like, what do you want from me? Well, actually a little bit different in Sweden. We just arrived yesterday, so we haven't seen a lot, but it was like different because many people were smiling. Like there was very few people with masks even in the airport, and people were smiling, and it felt like way more lighter and like...
it's definitely lighter energy here.
Yeah, and I think it has to do a lot with the restriction, like bring people so much to the fear of like, oh, there is constantly something gonna enter my body and punch me. And there is like also this energy in I notice a lot in Germany, like the separation between the people who support the jab and against it, and like aware of the agenda and against it, and all these kind of things contribute to like a very tense environment that you look around you and you kind of like feel that people are want to like to capture you, like in which campaign you are. That felt really heavy.
Which camp you're in.
Yeah, which camp, yeah.
You know, like, this is one of the biggest illusions, I think, of the city, is that in the city there is connection. Most people, like, that say that they want to still live in the city is that they feel like, yeah, but everyone's there, something's happening there. It's this fear of missing out.
Yeah.
As though you will be more connected if you're in the city, surrounded by a lot of people. Yeah. And the paradox is that most people are not.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this point, because we know like several city style community, and they're really disconnected. They don't have this intimacy in between them. They're more busy of their own job or surviving or different small topic that actually hold them back from connecting. So that's really a good point what you brought here. I see Marie Sophia is saying thank you for bringing this topic into the light, into consciousness. Thank you, Maria, for joining us. Yeah, if you have any question, also you can write and we answer it during the stream.
And I really believe that's like, and that's the illusion that we need a lot of people around us, and that we're like trying to gather more and more people around us to feel not alone. And it's actually coming from avoiding that inner sense of loneliness where we are disconnected from ourselves. But actually, if we would focus on the quality of connection and maybe have first just one person who is so close to you, with you, who can see into you deeply, this can actually, dissolve that need altogether for having a lot of people around. Because what we're actually looking for is that intimacy, that connectedness. And at the same time we're afraid of it and we're protecting from it. So this is the thing in community where we live intensely with other people. We begin to grow closer to each other, and we might have that quality of few people around us, and we don't have such a need and urge, to
run after this dream.
Yeah, to run after the illusion in the city of having like something is happening, Yeah. There's like a certain relaxation into, okay, I do have people close to me, and then it's a whole different level of trust and commitment to the connection. It's not like, now I meet you for coffee and then we go our separate ways, or that, now I'm in this party and all these people are here, but tomorrow I'll be alone again.
Yeah, it feels like this is something many people face when they come to our retreats. They feel like this community feeling, and they like really cry. Many people cry after leaving because they don't want to miss this. They don't want to go to their daily life where they don't have this. And what we experience in community, that this is a normal day in our life where we are connected, where we are having shared meals together, when we do like inner work together, when we do activity, whatever we like, we feel inspired to. This is kind of like the daily lifestyle that we have, and people face it or experience it in the retreat for a few days, and then they go back. What I actually like about it that they can know that this thing exists, so they can manifest it easily. But yeah, I feel like when we came to the city, we noticed how much people are craving this experience actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, another huge thing is the connection to nature. You can have that to a certain degree in the city as well, but it's not quite the same as living in nature, like living surrounded by, trees and a garden and being outdoors actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is one of the big reasons for me why I have felt a bit off with my lifestyle in the city. I haven't had a lot of appetite for fresh foods, which is what I eat usually every day, all day. And I've been having to I'm nibbling on some grapes, and then I'm meh, after a handful. And I lost a lot of weight as well because of this. And I feel like it's something about that the food itself here isn't fresh, It doesn't give me the sense of connecting to the land.
Yeah, it's very different comparing when we were in Tenerife or Ecuador. We had this amazing chance to grow our own food and then eating directly from the tree or from the bushes, and it was so nourishing. And here in Europe, I look around, it's so difficult. If you live in a city, you have only a chance to grow it maybe in the balcony or in the garden, which is amazing if you can do, but it's still very different when you have this amazing space to do it yourself.
Yeah.
And I also want, maybe it's a chance to encourage you, if you're still living in the city, it's not this is the end of the world. You can still create those small things that actually help you to connect to community, maybe intentional living, co-living with people, like-minded people, going to community garden. There's many community projects around you. If you are living in a cold climate, maybe there's somebody's building a greenhouse or any environment that allow growing in the cold weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just maybe there's a validation for people who want to eat raw vegan in the city, that it is more difficult. I notice myself craving for cooked foods way more than usually. And also I don't find the fruits and things, they are not as appetizing. I'm just I'm not having that I want more of this, And I've been so craving cacao, by the way. Oh my god, I've been such a cacao addict. I don't know, it wasn't like this in Ecuador. Other comments?
Yeah, from Marie, eventually it's the connection with ourselves.
Yeah, of course, yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. I think the thing in the city is, that there is less time, there is less focus to go inward, really, and to be with ourselves. And I wanted to actually talk about the reason for this. I feel very strong thought forms and collective energy in the city. There is especially in Berlin, there is a very big thought form about being productive. You must be doing something all the time.
Yeah.
And it feels quite strange to take a lot of time and just meditate and not do anything, but intentionally.
Unless the meditation was kind of doing something.
Yeah. Of course, that can also be another thing on the to-do list.
Yeah.
So there is these massive thought forms that you might not realize how much it influences you. You can get completely sucked into it, This, I have to be doing something, or I need to be somebody.
Yeah, a lot of identification with the work you do, with the position you have, so yeah.
Yeah, so that's a huge reason, I think, why it's more difficult to connect to ourselves when we're in the city, because there is such a huge vortex of thought forms that are constantly sucking us in. Versus, I'm sure many of you have noticed, if you go into the forest, it's so much easier to feel yourself. Or even maybe you've been on a vacation somewhere where it's really peaceful, and you're just hearing the ocean waves, you
and
know.
you want to have this all the time.
And then you can feel yourself all of a sudden, and all that FOMO disappears.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious to hear from those of you who are watching us, who is living in a community or like alternative life and who's in the city. I would love to hear. And also, like, if you're in the city and want to live in a community, what's holding you back? We can go on this like a little bit at the end of the screen, so write us.
Yeah, so I just want to maybe like summarize the 3 main points that we notice that are like the biggest differences in terms of where we have lived before, in more in nature and community, and versus being in the city in a flat. And the number 1 that I want to mention, it's what I just talked about. It's the vibes, it's the energy. And this is something that most people might not notice because we're not used to feeling into energy, because it's not visible. So you can feel the collective thought forms and the collective like energetic signature. And I found myself going more into depressive mode when I was in Berlin. Slowly, it was like I was being dragged into it, and I had to work really hard to keep myself in love vibration and creative vibration. Because we are influenced by the environment. Of course we are, especially if there are millions of people around us. Of course we are influenced by that. It requires way more awareness, conscious awareness, to keep ourselves in a high vibration and not being impacted by it.
Thomas saying the art of doing nothing. Yeah, definitely. Learn the art of being instead of doing.
Yes. So, and then second point is the difference between nature and the concrete jungle, you know. This has a huge influence on our nervous system, you know, whether we are surrounded by nature or man-made things. And also it has a huge impact on our immune system. It has a huge impact on our happiness levels.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Like, remember when we lived in Tenerife and we were growing food?
Yeah, there was like really healthy lifestyle. The weather also supported, so we'd be waking up every morning and going, checking on the garden, walking bare feet most of the day, working in the farm, working in the land, and then coming, doing some online work, and then meeting afterwards with the community. And we had something similar in Ecuador, not as much because we were moving from place to another, looking for like the perfect place for us, the land. So it's still like, it felt really way much better. Like, it felt a lot of purpose in growing food. And I feel like in modern society we're missing this a lot. Like, very few people are growing their food, and there's this relationship between the food you eat. Like, if you grow it, it would have so much meaning for you. So I really miss that. Like, being here in Europe, I would love to like do this project again and again.
You know, I actually think that the biggest healing we need is the reconnection to the land.
Yeah.
And this has huge implications for us. I feel even goosebumps just speaking about it. Like, we don't need actually all these healing modalities. They are amazing, of course. But actually what we need the most is reconnecting to the land, to the soil. And when we do that, we reconnect to our own roots and to our own bodies.
Yeah. And we are way less subject to like dehumanization. What we see now in the city, like with all this artificial intelligence and all this like smart devices, Internet of Things. Like, it feels like they're kind of like trying to copy what nature is and put it in an artificial way. And just like being in nature, you connect to the mushroom network underneath it. And it's like so much alive and so much fun, and like people are missing completely on this.
Yeah, and once you're connected to your body and you feel your feet firmly on the ground, you know what is good for you. No one can fool you.
Yeah.
None of this transhumanism stuff can fool you. or doesn't even appeal to you. You just are natural.
Yeah.
You are who you are.
Mario said move to the countryside 1 year ago because I couldn't handle the city energy anymore. Yeah, good for you, Mario.
You felt it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Marie, I'm very much looking for community life. It will be give it a try.
It's a process of connecting with people and also thinking of moving abroad. I'm dreaming of living close to the ocean.
Yeah. It's a dream many people have. Where are you now, Marie?
It is a big thing about people, you know, because it is about us finding our tribe again and choosing our tribe. So it's all about finding the people who you vibe with, so you can feel that connection and inspiration together, and you can feel you're not in your own bubble anymore. Hard part of living in the urban area is the noise from the cars and a few green spaces.
Mia can speak for hours about this.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
The noise, I don't know what it does, but it does disturb the nervous system.
Yeah, it's stress, definitely.
Okay, and then I had the third point. We keep going on these tangents about stuff, but the third main point, what is a big difference in our lifestyle and this city living, is consistent connection to other human beings. And this involves this kind of commitment. It's like a family feeling, but it's a chosen family. It's a sense of belonging, where it's not just random connections here and there and then everyone goes and has their separate lives. It's that we're sharing a life. And I think this is, we can't underestimate the importance of this for our feeling of like, relaxation. We are social creatures as human beings. Therefore, social belonging is the biggest source of our anxieties and the things we do, even the things, the way we dress. It's all about finding social approval.
Yeah.
So once you have that, your tribe, you know that they love you and they are there and you are sharing a life together, you can relax in that area. Maybe you have so much more energy liberated for creativity, for example.
Yeah.
And even physical touch needs, don't even mention.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when we came to the city, it's like, when we came to Berlin, we really love to see our friends, but it felt so complicated. Like, everybody is living 1 hour apart from each other, so it felt like it needed planning, and it felt like it's not constant to be with people. So yeah, this is something we miss of living together. Like when we were in Ecuador, it was like 2 minutes to get to our friend's staff, and we were like living together, and 5 minutes to get to this person, and it was like everything felt so easy. Yeah, Marie wrote that she's living in Estonia. We have some friends there. We can connect you, Marie. It would be lovely. Yeah.
Okay, I feel quite complete with this topic.
Yeah.
It's quite obvious maybe to you that we really just want to get the hell out of here and go back to being in nature, in our
hut somewhere.
Tribe bubble.
I'm such a non-tribalist.
A lone sea turtle among the stars.
Oh, I love how you put things in such a magical word, Robel.
It sounds so poetic.
Yeah. I still believe that you can have your space among people, like if you can find a way where you can set boundaries and maybe have your own space or your own maybe like sanctuary, then I think it would be really lovely for you to know that there is people around you that you can connect to at some point if you need that.
It would be actually an interesting question to explore, Ravel. What is it that you feel that you cannot have if you're with people?
Yeah.
What is it that if you're alone you feel like you can have? Because this can actually be a result of a childhood experiences where you haven't been able to fully have yourself, fully have your way, have your things when you are with other people, and then it's a matter of learning to express and learning to set boundaries and to take care of ourselves. And this is a huge, important skill in always when we live in communities.
Yeah.
That we learn to have ourselves and to honor other people as well in what they need.
Well said. Let's see.
Not to say that it's wrong to be a lone sea turtle. Maybe that's your thing.
Yeah. So let's see if there's any questions. Answer them. Otherwise, we're gonna say goodbye and see you in another video. Okay. Is there anything else we share with our YouTube friends?
I feel pretty complete with this topic. If there's no more questions,
then we're gonna say goodbye.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe on our channel. We will do our best to start doing videos more often. We've been like traveling and just focused on other stuff, but we really want to keep this going because we love interacting with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Write us on Telegram. Join our Telegram group and write us a message there. And yeah, if you find this video helpful in any way, please like it and share it. This is how YouTube starts suggesting it to more people, and then we get like-minded people like you joining our YouTube community. So I would love that. And yeah, keep yourself free and loving, and see you in the next one.
Yes.
Yeah. Love you guys.
Love you. Mwah. Bye bye.